And yep, sorry about the interruption, but we are going to continue on again with computer and technology news. And that's right, we have a lot of different articles to talk about today. So just going to pick this back up and start with this one. And by this one, I mean net neutrality. I know, super exciting, talk about it all the time, but it's worth talking about. It's worth talking about a lot because there's a lot at stake here, and it's not something you really want to get bored of. It's not something you really want to get tired of. So this is a little bit of intrigue, a little bit of interesting things. But so net neutrality, it's one of those traditionally black and white issues that consumers are generally on one side of, and on the opposite side, the one fueling all of the you know all of the controversy are the ones who are benefiting from it, and that would be ISPs, internet companies, and internet providers. It really is a consumer versus corporation kind of argument here, and not even all corporation, because a lot of corporations depend on the current infrastructure and the current protections that happen with the internet. That's only the incumbents, only the ones that really, really, really benefit from things changing are the ones really fighting it. And, again, a lot of people are benefiting from the current situation. So, with that being said, why don't we jump into this one? And this is from The Verge, although a lot of news organizations have been picking this up. But so, the reason I bring up, who's really for and against net neutrality is that just recently there were, I think, something like 128,000 quote unquote people that posted their opinion on the FCC comment. They had the open comment period for, for this, for the net neutrality. And it was overwhelmingly, at the time, for net neutrality, pro net neutrality. And then all of a sudden, about 2 days ago, there was, about middle Tuesday, there was a swing in the types of comments that you would see. And it's so unusual that it perked a lot of people's interest. So here we have it again from The Verge. Anti-net neutrality spammers are impersonating real people to flood FCC comments. That's right. So this week, thousands of posted comments on the FCC website in response to the proposed rollback on net neutrality, on the rollback of net neutrality internet protections. That's right. Weighing in on whether and how to defend the open internet. John Oliver, host of Last Week Tonight on HBO, encouraged viewers to post to a public comment thread in support for strong regulation, and a massive number of people did so. That's right. This was not the first time he had urged people to do this, but hey, he did it again, and a lot of people obliged. But many others appear to have a different point of view. And again, one of the things that makes this so unusual is that last time this happened, and yes, there was a last time with the open comment, the public comment, there was nowhere near this kind of outcry on the opposing side. So, a lot of people got really tech savvy and formed opinions counter to what a lot of industry experts believe. So, anyways, they have a quote here saying that the unprecedented regulatory power of the Obama administration imposed on the internet is smothering innovation, damaging the American economy, and obstructing job creation. That is a quote. That is the one sentence response of thousands of identical comments posted this week. That's right. It was that one sentence posted thousands of times. And this is by seemingly different concerned individuals. So the comment goes on to give a vigorous defense of deregulation, calling the rules a power grab, and saying that the rollback represents a positive step forward. Right. So by midday Tuesday, the thread was inundated with versions of the comment, saying that a search of duplicate text found more than 58,000 results as of the press time, with 17,000 of those posted within the past 24 hours. And I believe the number is up to 128,000 people posting similar comments. Very, very I don't want to say alarming or shocking or anything like that, but it's it's very strange that they're able to do this. So now, in the meantime, they're saying that, they're saying that doesn't even sound like the comments seem to be posted by different real people with addresses attached, because that's one thing about the FCC. It's open to public comment, but you have to verify at some level. You're a person. You know what you're doing, and you do this as an individual, and you have to post some sort of, what's the best way to say it? Some sort of proof that you are indeed an individual, and not just saying, hey, I'm Joe 1, Joe 2, Joe 3, Joe 4, and all four of us hate this idea. No, you have to put verifiable information about, who you are. It's essentially a petition. So they're saying that, and that the comments seem to be posted by different real people with addresses attached, but the people contacted by The Verge said that they did not write the comments and have no idea where the post came from. That's the other strange thing. And this is Nancy Colombo of Connecticut, one of those, one of the names, and again, it is her address that appears attached to one of the thousands of identical comments, saying that doesn't even sound like the verbiage I would use. Saying that, and they have another one in Indiana saying, I have no idea where that came from. And this is whose Indiana address also appeared, and who was also surprised to hear about the comment. So these comments, they're supposedly being left by real people. You can contact them, you can find their address, you can find their name. And The Verge obviously sent people out to ask them, hey, why'd you do this? And a number of them came back and said, we never did that. So what could that mean? Well, the people said that they have no special link to the FCC activism or the telecommunications industry, and could not think of any time they had knowingly entered their information for a similar campaign, saying that this is definitely not my style. That was one of the commenters. This sounds like a hacker or an outsider. And that's what a lot of people are kind of going towards. So, groups on both sides of net neutrality debate have long tried to organize grassroots campaign. And some have turned to forms of automation, using techniques such as asking people to fill out an auto-generated form or suggesting a specific message to send to the FCC. Saying that after John Oliver's call to action, several people posted variations of Oliver's suggested language, and some used obviously fake identity to do so. That's right. Because, not everyone is going to really post, the best critique of the legislation, because, hey, not everyone is completely familiar with all the intricacies, but and also it's a time saver. People are lazy. Let's just be honest about this. So there they go. They're off to the races, and they're copying and pasting other people's messages. But versions of a different anti-net neutrality comment were also appearing on the thread 2 weeks ago. But the fact that the real identities are being used without permission is a strange twist. Indeed. So, the FCC declined to comment on whether it was aware of the comments or whether it has dealt with similar issues in the past. So, here's the thing. It's unclear. At this point in time, who is in charge of these comments? A line of language used in the comment specifically about the unprecedented regulatory power of the Obama administration has some resemblance to a 2010 press release from the Center for Individual Freedom, a conservative anti-net neutrality group. So they're trying to link the language used to anyone else's message to see maybe who was responsible for these obviously fake posts. And that's the big thing. They were obviously fake because, they have screenshots of people commenting in a row in quick succession, ordered by first name. Like, it's not like, here's a Joe, here's a Frank, here's a Bob. No, it was literally Brittany, Brian in alphabetical order. It's very clearly some kind of giant list that this bot is posting and pulling from ordered by first name alphabetically. So, at any rate, saying that we, as in The Verge, has contacted the group and asked whether it had organized a campaign to send this message. And, quote, yes, the Center for Individual Freedom is asking our supporters and other activists across the nation to submit comments, saying that it shouldn't come as a surprise that the wording of the email is similar to the wording that the Center for Individual Freedom used in 2010, as our message on this general issue has been consistent for nearly a decade. So, the spokesperson said that the CFIF had sent emails to supporters, posted a form with the text on digital media platforms across the internet. They also provided a screenshot of the form posted here, and this doesn't mean that the CFIF is behind the spamming campaign, but it's plausible that whoever sent the bogus comments, well, they pulled straight from it to do so. And that your question about the possibility of someone corrupting the effort is something we need to look into. And that is, again, the spokesperson. So, now you have intrigue on top of intrigue. I mean, again, the comments on net neutrality have been overwhelmingly for net neutrality, pro net neutrality. And now we have a situation where thousands upon really over 100,000 comments have been posted in the near past, all pertaining to, well, hey, what is exactly going on? So it's a very strange happenstance, and yeah, we'll see what comes of it, but nothing good, I am sure. It's everyone wants to look like they're the truest grassroots campaign out there, but there's a lot of trickery involved. I can guarantee you that. All right. So, how about something a little bit more fun? And for this one, more fun. All right, I got one. More fun for us because it's so strange, but not fun for the gentleman who is the subject of this next story. And this is a Russian blogger was found guilty of playing Pokemon Go in church. Right, Pokemon Go. You thought it would go away, but no, it's still going on. And again, a Russian blogger found guilty of playing Pokemon Go in church. So this coming from Engadget, and a 22-year-old Ruslan. Ruslan is his first name, and Sokolovsky. Ruslan Sokolovsky. There we go. Received a suspended jail sentence for inciting religious hatred with Pokemon Go, I guess. I don't know. So, a Russian judge has found a Russian YouTuber guilty of inciting hatred for posting anti-religious videos after he filmed himself playing Pokemon Go in a church. So, he said that the 22-year-old man could face up to 5 years in jail, and with an offense that is seems like it comes from another age, quote-unquote, offending religious sensibilities. So, Sokolovsky was handed a 3.5-year suspended sentence. Well, that's not too bad, but also not great. And Sokolovsky posted footage of him catching Pokemon in a church of All Saints, in a church, there we go, back in August 2016, and the video was posted in response to the government imposing tougher penalties on people judged to have purposely insulted the feelings of believers in places of religious worship. What a strange law. But saying that who can ever be offended by you walking around a church with your smartphone? And why would they lock you up for that? And a few weeks after it went live on YouTube, the YouTuber was awoken by police who had accessed his apartment using keys from his landlord and arrested him. He was then placed under house arrest until his court appearance. And prosecutors lobbied for at least a 3-year sentence for, wow, they are strict over there, for the gentleman under the new religious laws, but it could stretch all the way to 5. And so human rights organizations, Amnesty International, has lobbied for his release, arguing that the punishment and the law is a restriction of free speech. And in September 2016 alone, over 14,000 people had contacted the Russian authorities demanding he be set free. So again, he's playing Pokemon Go in church. Obviously, not the best place to play Pokemon Go. I'll give you that. But at the same time, he was not exactly inciting a riot. He was not, hurting anyone's feelings for, you know, making fun of their religion or anything like that. He was simply just not really observing the proper procedure in a church, and therefore 3-year suspended sentence. Russia doing amazing things to set the world back. Love it, love it, love it. All right. So there goes that one. And I think we have time for, wow, not even one more. All right. So everyone, again, sorry about the interruption there in the beginning. We'll, of course, take that out for for the podcast kind of deal. But some of the other stories that we unfortunately did not get a chance to get to, including a couple of different flavors, 3 different flavors of Ubuntu and Linux. Of Linux are coming, including Ubuntu, SUSE Linux, and Fedora are all coming to the Windows Store. That's right. You can buy or download Linux in the Windows Store. Pretty crazy. And also there was a lot more Windows and Microsoft story because Microsoft recently had their 2017 Build conference, where they unveiled a lot of different things, including some new hardware and some new augmented virtual reality, mixed reality controllers. So yeah, there was more that we of course wanted to get to, and you can find at computeramerica.com. But in the meantime, we unfortunately just do not have time. So with all of that said, I think we're just going to call it there. So for everyone, tomorrow on the program, we are going to be talking to Mr. Ralph Bond himself. That's right. He is, he is a great speaker. He works with Autodesk, and just in general, he is great at what he does, and he finds a lot of very, very interesting news stories, be they about 3D printing, be they about green technology. He finds them all, collects them, puts them into an easy to read format, and he's just a lot of fun to have on. So again, tomorrow, Ralph Bond, longtime Computer America correspondent. Check it out. And in the meantime, Computer America will be back here, same time, same place, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, hopefully with all of the bugs worked out and all and everything back up in running order. So until then, everyone, have a great day. Thank you so much. And hey, have a good one. Bye, everyone.